So this is the part where we're supposed to just hold on real tight and we don't die. Hold on, y'all. I gotta find my remote. All right, so I was just let me see if I can get this straight. Hold up. My thing fell out. I was just on somebody else's live trying to get out of the chat into the request box because they were talking about, is Jesus God? We got to establish something. Jesus ain't showed up. All right, that's better. It's still a little dark in here. I'm trying to brighten this thing up, but it ain't working. All right, that's cool. So this is it. We're talking about Jesus showed up, and we got eyewitness accounts. Where are these eyewitness accounts for this man? You can't just say, "Oh, they're in the Bible." That does not. It's like you can't come to a debate with belief. You got to have some type of facts. You can't. Oh, it's eyewitness account in the Bible. No, because the Bible's not his. It'd be different if it was a history book. It's not a history book. Oh, we got these eyewitness accounts, but we don't have none of the names of the people who got the eyewitness accounts. They're not the ones writing it themselves. Other people are writing it, saying what this person said. Oh, this guy said it, so no, you gotta have it. It's not peer review. It's not scholarly. We want scholarly. You can't just take, word of mouth. No, we're not doing that. Jesus he on the sideline. He ain't coming back. And if he did come back, he coming back to smite nations. Jesus was like one of the softest dudes in the book. What'd he do? He turns over a table. Wow. He turned over a fucking table. Anybody can do that. I'm going to turn the table over. You went into a temple and you turned the table over and you tried to start whooping people. Come on now. Don't play yourself. Don't play yourself. Jesus ain't doing nothing. We have no historical evidence from people who lived contemporary when he lived writing about him. Where are they at? Just show me. Show me one. It's like you can't be like, you know what, man? I got this cookie. Only person that's seen this cookie is me and my brother. Follow me to the house. I'm gonna show you. Then when we get to your house, you ain't got the what? I don't know. Tell your brother to call your mom and ask her. I don't know. Ask me the strangest stuff. So like you gotta take my word for it. Like, hey man, you know I got this killer kush. I got this killer kush. You ain't never seen it before. Well, I'm telling you about it. And you be like, hey man, send me a picture so I can see it. Man, my camera phone broke. I can't take a picture of it and send you to it. But like 8,000 people done seen it before. So you gotta believe it. No, that's not how real life works. This is critical thinking over here. We need to see it. We need proof. We need documentation. We need documentation. You can't go into a courtroom and say, I'm not guilty. And then they're like, well, how do we know you're not guilty? You just gotta believe me. And they say, oh, they hit the javelin. You're not guilty. That is not how it works. That is not how it works. You gotta prove without a reasonable doubt that you're not guilty. You're not doing that. We're gonna put. They left. They wanted to go to the mall with their big bro, so they just put the food on the table and broke out. They hurt them all. Like where in history do you get someone talking about another person that's historical and we just go off of belief, an assumption? Oh, Alexander went into Egypt. Okay, that's cool. Where's the evidence? Then they show you the evidence. You be like, oh shit, it's multiple people are writing about what Alexander did, what he conquered, the people he interacted with. We got that on record. But when it comes to Jesus, all the people he supposedly encountered with never wrote about him. I'm Lazarus. You bringing me back from the dead. I'm writing about you. If I'm not writing about you, somebody in my family, oh, you know what? My grandpa was with Jesus. And he brought my grandpa back from the dead. And they was chilling. No, you ain't got that with him. We got to take, it was over 500 people that witnessed his resurrection. Where the fuck is the records at? If they assumed I committed a crime and I got 500 people as a witness to say I didn't commit the crime, guess who's getting let out of jail? It's like, come on, man, you gotta think. You gotta think. You can't be like, oh, this man said on the other guy's live that the Vatican has Jesus' DNA. They got his blood. I ain't never heard of this shit. The top scholars aren't even talking about it. So where's all this evidence outside of the Vatican that ain't nobody talking about? It's got to be somebody saying it, somebody talking about it, somebody doing something. No one's writing about it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No one's writing about that. That should be in the front page news. Look, we got Jesus's blood. We got DNA evidence to prove Jesus existed. We ain't got that. We do not have none of that. It's just the man that they claim existed during a time no one wrote about him. Okay, if I know nothing, come into the chat, bro. Come into the chat. You can't sit here and say, I know nothing. What? You can play that game, but you're not turning it up because I don't want to hear loud, and I damn sure don't want to hear my nephew yelling on the screen. Little girl, shut up! I'm not hearing that tonight. They must lie to keep the minds of the people. That's what I'm saying. They're not. I don't want to say they're brainwashed because they just don't want to let it go. If you got historical evidence that 500 people saw this man rise up and go, and he ascended. They saw him resurrect from the grave, and he ascended into heaven. Why is it that none of these 500 people are writing about it? There should be autobiographies everywhere about, hey, look, I saw Jesus. He rose from the dead. He ascended up into heaven, and I wrote about it. That's all I'm saying. Like, show us. He ain't even gotta do the second coming. He could just write his name in the sky. That's it. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. Oh, he black now? My son's tripping. What up, pretty? It's like you got the most important figure in this book. That's what I'm saying, Mo. You have 500 people. None of them wrote. None of them wrote about Jesus. They ain't write about him resurrecting and going into heaven. His kids, the grandkids, the great, none of them. None of them read about this man. Give me a sentence where it says, my great grandpa went to heaven. Which they're not just gonna take my account. They need eyewitness statements from somebody that witnessed lived years after he already passed. They say, well, I don't even see him no more. Like you cannot do that. Oh, well, this is just what Josephus say. You can't do that. Bring me something else. Josephus' writings have been tempered with biblical scholars to tell you. I guarantee you, if you were, let me move this car before I fuck everything up. If you took Josephus' works to Bart Ehrman and said, look, this is what Josephus. Listen, I didn't say Jesus didn't exist. I said who wrote about him. Because this did. Y'all automatically try to go to, oh, well, see, He just said Jesus existed, so that proves the Bible is real. None of the shit this man did in the Bible ever happened. They all come to the consensus that there was a historical person. And then when you go from the name, to did he do teaching? Did he teach about the Jews, the oath, the Torah? Did he teach about this? Then that's already been a teacher when it comes to the law, but we don't know. Some say yes, some say no. But all of them come to the consensus that he ain't do none of that magical shit in the book. It was just a person that lived that they. And then that's another thing. Like, no, that ain't it. I don't even see it no more. But I got it somewhere in here. That after they had others couldn't get it right. What makes y'all think that we're gonna get it right? It's not. It is not. It's not. It's biblical bull. This is what Bible believers do. You take the scripture, you read the scripture, and then you interpret it your way. This is what they mean when they say this, that believe in the book, and you tell them to read a scripture. They're going to get, and then after all of that, after we all read the verse and say what we think it means, we're going to start arguing over what we think it means. Rob, I'm not going to hear all that loud shit. They're like, oh, well, you know what? Jesus did this, Jesus did that. But you can find the majority of the stuff that this man did with other deities. The truth, the light bearer. Nobody wants to talk about that believes in the Bible. Mithra. The game on your phone. No, not I was about to say, y'all got new technology. Y'all can play the PlayStation on your phone now?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, you motherfuckers. Why don't y'all pick up a book, man? Look, you see this?
I did.
What that say, Monty?
The Bible Battle.
Pick that book up, man. It's a great read, man.
Nah.
Debating Catholicism, book 1. Get the book, man. Get in a debate. They be ready to take you down in a debate with a bush for all this. And like me, I go to the source. Like, I don't give you the document. I give you the name of the person saying it so you can look him up. He's a scholar. He's a philosopher, a professor. Yeah. But you can't use Josephus. Josephus is an unreliable source. Okay. Can't use him. It's bullshit. So that's what you do. You bring in the newest version of the bullshit. You bring the newest version of the bullshit to the table, and you ain't got them oldies. We want them classics. Bring me what the classics is saying. You ain't coming in, huh? All right, that's cool. I understand. You ain't about that life today? Because Jesus scared to. Everybody's seen when you late at night on Friday night, Saturday night, they got those infomercials that come on the church, and they be doing them fake miracles. That's what Jesus was doing. Then they want you to buy the miracle water. That's what Jesus was doing. Out of everybody in the book, he performed the least amount of miracle. Moses threw down the staff. He threw down the staff, and it was battling 2 snakes. It turned into a snake and was battling the snakes. All Jesus did was clap on, clap off one guy. That's it. He clapped on, clapped off one guy. What did he do? That was his big performance. He clapped on and clapped off a guy. That's it. And everybody's so struck by, well, he died on the cross for our sins. But I couldn't. It won't let me put the picture up. It won't let me put the picture
Hold
up
on. Hey,
of
add
how
me
they
again. It's an
changed.
echo.
All right. How they changed, because it wasn't a cross. It was like an X, and then it was a tree, and then somehow they changed it to a cross. For the cross, and this is what people don't know about the cross. The cross has nothing to do with Christians. Nothing. It's not a symbol of Christianity. The cross comes from Mithraism. That goes back to what I was saying. Mithraism existed before and after Christianity, and then it died out, and Christianity became the number one religion of the land. So everything you see in Christianity, you see in Mithraism. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Look it up. Let me find that page. You can go ahead, Mom. I'm looking for the page.
Hey man, they listen. Why the hell would people still be looking for Jesus in history? Why they still trying to look for him, right? If it's already proven that he existed, what the fuck they still looking for him for? It ain't make any sense. They still over there looking. We're gonna prove this. We're
Yeah.
gonna prove it. It's been hundreds of years and you still trying to prove it. You ain't figured the shit out like they looking for the Exodus. You gonna be looking forever. Don't know. You can't hide an event. A nigga split the listen. Come on, how a nigga split the damn? He split the sea. He split the sea in half, and, and you gotta find evidence of that shit. People
They're
seen it
not
from
gonna
the other
find it.
side. From the other side of the body of water, somebody gonna see that, bro. Listen, if you go to the nearest ocean or sea where you at, somebody on the other side that splits that, you gonna see that shit. You gonna see it. This dude split the shit in half. How the fuck you gonna hide that? You can. There's no hiding. Someone's gonna tell about that shit. That's
But
like
and
trying
this
to
is
put.
this is this is the trick. They get us with, oh, there was a big exodus, and they was in the desert. During the time, I wish I had my magazine. I think my magazine's in my closet. I got a magazine on the Exodus, and it said all the artifacts they found during the time of the Exodus, they all were Egyptian, and that they had people that were ruling in Canaan during the time of the Exodus. The Egyptians, they had everything set up
Yep.
in Canaan. So where the fuck was they going?
That's like running. That's like running. Yo, that's like running from it's like running from New York to running from New York to Detroit. Yes, I got away. No, you didn't. You ain't go nowhere.
You running from zombies on this side and this to meet zombies on the other side. Come on now. That's like, look, I found the page. And Mithra, right? What they call Mithraism. You got a virgin birth. You got witnesses followed the East Star. He got 12 disciples, performed miracles, practiced baptism, and they did the Eucharist. He rose from the dead. And look, this is the key. This is the key. To top it off, the symbol was the cross. And they worshiped him on Sunday. And then it says, the truth, the light of the world. He healed the sick. He was killed and rose from the dead. And then guess what he did, Mo?
What?
After he rose from the dead. Because this they love to say, well, Jesus was the only person that rose from the dead and ascended into heaven.
He ascended
Why is he talking
into the
about
heaven.
ascended? He ascended into heaven. This was years before Christianity was invented. And he's talking about this person ascended into heaven. So not only did y'all still ascended, y'all stole heaven for Mithraism. That's game. That's game. Ain't coming. There's no coming back from that at all.
You
How
can't
you
get
gonna
around
come
that
back?
shit.
You can't. You can't. Oh, well, Jesus was the only person that did it. And then I show you he wasn't the only person that did it. What else is you gonna say?
And you see this over and over. They keep repeating things that they rejected. That's a dead giveaway that somebody hijacked your shit and inserted their ideology into it. Because you were rejecting human sacrifice, and then the whole centerpiece of your new covenant is a human sacrifice. Then they thought they weren't worthy of going into heaven. The Romans kept telling them, no, we can go to heaven. They had the myth of Ur. The Greeks were talking about going into heaven. They like, nah, we can't go to heaven. That's only the gods go there. We go to Sheol. You know what I'm saying? They always disagree with that shit. Then soon as they get a hold of your civilization, your kings fall, your temples fall. Now you believe this shit that you can ascend to heaven and human sacrifice is okay because God did it. That's crazy. If you when God makes God wouldn't make an example by doing something that the false gods do. It doesn't make any goddamn
But
sense.
in this they say, oh well, that's just pagan. That's pagan worship. You can't tell me that you don't have pagan worship in the book. You got multiple gods in this book. And they're like, oh, well, it's only one God. When did God kill Moloch in the book? You got Ishtar in the book.
Hey, can I step in? I mean, I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
First of all, I appreciate the conversation, but I just wanted to see where your direction. I mean, because you guys are spinning in many different directions, so I just tried to find a topic that I
Oh,
could get in.
this is we like doing the after party from the other debate we were having. We just
Got,
venting.
gotcha. So
Yeah.
here's something that's neat, just from an observation. The Romans destroyed the Jews and then made a religion out of it. Agree to that?
Wait, we can't hear
Are
you.
you breaking up?
All right. I said the Romans
Leave the
destroyed
door open.
and then made a religion.
Yeah, you still breaking
You
up.
still breaking up, bro.
You know, I
I,
hear that.
hey,
It sounds like it's coming
we
from.
gonna add. Say that again.
I said, it sounds like it's coming from one of your guys' mics. I can hear it too. But now it's quiet now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we hear you.
The
What's up,
Romans,
Buck?
the Romans destroyed the Jews and made a religion out of their history. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Facts. That's a fact.
The Romans. That's just history. That's just flat out history. That's not
I'll
even
tell
a
you.
religion.
Yeah, and people act like they were gonna stand out in the open. You got to fill in the blanks yourself at some point because it's not like they stood out in the open in public and wrote the books in front of people. After they took over them and burnt down their temples and took their stuff from them, and they went back into their little quarters. You know what they was doing in there? They was putting that shit together because
Well,
you
here
still got to rule the people.
that's right. And but here's an observation about, let's say, the Old New Testament. This was a book about one set of people. It wasn't about the world. And how do you know that? In the first, the New Testament never written to the world. Now, here's something I would like to ask you, brother. Where's your
Go ahead.
history? I mean, as
With
African Americans, where's our history at? Where's our
in
history?
history,
They can tell you what the
our
Chinese
history,
do.
our history, our history are written down in books. We
Okay.
actually have settlements in Virginia. They got African American settlements during and after slavery, and some of them have been historical monuments that they have preserved.
Well,
Yep,
I
we got marks in Mexico.
here when
Uh,
Christopher Columbus got here, right? Is that what you're saying?
We got
he
slave
didn't.
narratives that they wrote.
Right? Well, you know what? It's funny that the land that they call Egypt today, and anybody can look this up once we're off here and you got some free time. That land used to be called Afro. Anybody can look it
Okay.
up. Afro. Now, Afro is different from Afri, meaning Africans. That was the land of Afros or Afro-Asiatics. It's another word. These are people who are not, they didn't originate on the African continent. Or not say originate. They didn't inhabit the African continent. They inhabit that land right above Africa, in between Africa and Asia. These people were called Negroes. You guys can look it up. See, you gotta use the Bible. It will tell you who you are. But I heard you mention something about, I can see you got as Venus or the morning star.
That's after. Like you get Venus from what, the Romans?
Well, Venus is a planet, right? And that's all astrology.
Yeah, I'm talking about the word. The word
Abs-
Venus
Absolutely.
comes from.
Yeah. It's a transliteration of I guess Estar would start out in Mesopotamia or one of those
all
early.
all the stories that we're about to talk about come from Mesopotamia in Egypt.
Well, okay, fair enough. Let's say that. So, what do you think that you're a descendant of Egyptian?
Me?
Yeah,
No, my descendants come from West Africa and probably Puerto Rico because we don't know exactly what ethnicity my grandfather was.
but isn't it neat that they could tell you what the Chinese was doing thousands of years ago, the Japanese thousands, and most people, most nations, but they can't tell you what we was doing just 400 years ago. They could tell you what a mummy ate 2,000 years ago, what's in its belly and what it ate and everything, but they can't tell you what you was doing 400 years ago. Isn't that suspicious, bro?
Who? When you
Yeah, I
say
mean they didn't
you
want
mean
to.
African Americans?
I mean, African Americans. I mean, how about this? They said they picked you up on the west coast of Africa, right? That's
Uh
somebody.
true.
huh.
All right. Are you familiar with the Bantu people?
Yeah.
I've
All
heard
right.
of them. Yeah, go ahead.
Bantu, uh, the people they picked up were Bantu people. See, they knew who they were picking up. It just wasn't no pick up whoever you can and go. See, the Bantu people, or they're not original. How can I say this? Inhabitants of Africa. They're not the natural. They're not the Aborigines people of West Africa. Let me put it that way. They got there about 530 BC.
Because somebody from there actually told me to look into the Bantu people, and I looked into it, and it did say that they were a priesthood, and they were found in Mesopotamia and Egypt as well.
Well, great, great. I'm
Before,
glad you said that, bro. Now you're putting the pieces together. These people were from the land of Afro. These are the Jews that's talked about in the Bible. So I mean,
Y'all keep yelling, and I keep telling y'all stop yelling while I'm live. You're doing
you,
that so you can make a scene.
I don't have to say that you're wrong. I mean, I could take they call the Bible is
If you're
they
gonna
were.
put it in the room, you can. I'm not making you.
it's
I
what?
just
Hey,
What
don't
you
want
say?
to tape you on and be loud.
let me say this, bro. The word Bantu means the people.
But
Now,
okay, so are you saying that the Jews?
do it like this. In 70 AD, Rome burnt down Jerusalem. 70 AD, Rome burnt down AD. So a lot of those people fled out of Egypt. I mean, fled out of uh, Israel. I'm gonna call it Israel, and into when the Christ came. And we're just using it as a story. Now we're not talking about the religious aspect. We're just using this as oral stories. When the Christ was born, they told him to hide in Egypt. See, we always hid among Canaanites, people that look like us. Why? Because the people who were attacking us at that time were white people. We always went and hid amongst people who. Here's what I would suggest you do, brother. Just don't try to believe. Take little keywords and research little things I said. I mean, I don't need nobody to believe. I don't need that. You see what I'm saying? I don't need no followers. I need other leaders. I need people to I understand you could be what you are is anti-Christian. You're not anti the Bible because it made it like a universal story when it's always been about one set of people. Just I don't want to be.
But this
I don't,
is the thing when it comes to the book,
all right.
everybody thinks the book is talking about them. It don't matter what color we are.
How
We
about
all find ourselves in the book.
how about this then? I'll do this and I'll go. I'll let you ask me any question that you might have. I mean, stump me. I mean, stump the Hebrew or what. Ask me questions about that you would like. But I would say everybody say it's about me. But if you read the book, you would see your reflection. It becomes a mirror. Bible talk. See that
Okay,
dog. That
Are you
that's
talking?
I
Are
got
you
one for
talking
you.
about Deuteronomy?
no. Hey, how about Leviticus? How about see that you have to read. You have to be a reader. And look, if you
Yeah.
and you don't read, that's the same thing. That's if you can't read and you don't.
Bro, look, listen. My brother on here, he came out of being a Hebrew.
All right. Well, bite him
So if
on.
this is what
I'm
I'm
right
saying,
here.
if
I'm right here.
if
My
he
parents are
don't
still. My parents are Hebrew
if
Israelites.
he don't go ahead, Mo.
My parents are Hebrew Israelites, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I talk about this with my father every day, light and all of the proof behind it. But
Well, okay.
I already have a connection to whatever we are calling its creator. I just don't put a name on it.
Pretty girl,
I feel a presence. I know it's there, and I don't need a
you
book
need to
to
put on a
connect to it.
shirt.
You know, it's the book is fine. It's poetic. It tells me things that I already knew. My grandmother told me those things, and she's a Muslim, and she told me things that the Bible told me. My mother told me things before she was a Hebrew, and I know these. I'm not trying to say nobody needs it. Some people in the world are so sick in their mind they need guidance like that. But everything I read in the Bible to me is common sense. It's not really that deep to me.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. But you know what? The God of the Bible, or the God of the Hebrews, let me say that. It's the only God in creation. It was the only God of morality. In other words, it was the only God who talked about love your brother like you love yourself. Don't go sleeping with your neighbor's wife. Who
Wow,
gave
King of Troy.
society? So, you could say that, well, I read it and I did this, that, and the third. What was he trying to accomplish? It ain't about, he was trying to make a good society. People in your life and all that, and Hebrew Israelites and Islam and all that stuff. The final choice is yours. And you sound young anyway, so you have a chance to get it right as long as you examine all the
Well,
quarters.
I feel like I'm here because of whatever think that I'm supposed to go
Put
off
that out in the
track
living room.
while I'm here and sidestep whatever my purpose is. Whatever it is what it is. And the more I keep trying to find God connected when I'm born, I feel like I was connected prior to being born. That's how I'm part of the process of coming through a female's womb and then being able to reproduce because I'm already linked in. So once I start growing something else, when I'm already connected to it.
One more facts.
But
Let me say, since you have your parents already involved in that, uh, you don't have to
wait,
learn
say
how
that again. Say it.
Hebrew Israelites, and you have Muslims, you have people in your life. See, you're not getting this out of the money. So all this stuff that you knew, you're kind of dismissing what they taught you, but they kind of got you where you're at. They kind of gave you the freedom to think like you're thinking. You see what I'm saying? Because if you had to get it out the book, you had to go through the trying to figure out what the Hebrew Israelite. You still think you a Negro. So I still give them credit because they gave you the platform to become even say that
Leave
where
the
you.
door.
I mean, do you
Leave
understand
the
what
door.
I mean?
Yeah, but I be
Yeah, okay.
and
So
then when I left it alone. Then they
so,
be
I see, ain't that what it is? IUIC.
but those are and those are camps, and I don't know. I don't have nothing bad to say about a camp. You know what I mean? But it don't take a camp to read the Bible. So just that. You know what I mean? And
The
I can see
problem.
all that. They
Go
paying
ahead.
dues,
Go ahead.
paying annual dues and all kind of stuff, and I could see the corruption. And plus, they're a 501c3. That's a church. It's done with. That they're cooked.
mhm.
You know what I mean? So that was a bad example. You know what
Right.
I mean? That was a horrible. I mean, they are registered 501c3. So what do a person say about that? You know what I mean? They have to say what the government tells them to say. You know. So
Yeah, that's the one thing you can't do is go against the government. No matter what God you believe in, once you sign that agreement, you can't go against it, even if God told you to.
That's right, because you just gave them an authority. See what I'm saying? And if you do go against them, they're gonna hit you with income tax evasion. Whenever you see them preachers getting kicked in and you off course, they're gonna shut your church down. So, hey,
Hmm.
man, check this. You gotta think a lot. I mean, that ain't the case.
That ain't gonna happen, man. Everybody's not gonna think alike because we are individual thinkers.
That's what I'm saying.
And you
Look,
this is
we
how we're different. And then start arguing about the stuff we just interpreted.
well, I wouldn't go that far with it, bro. But I get what you're saying. I wouldn't go that
I've
far.
seen it. I see
Yo,
it on a daily basis.
for real.
On a daily basis.
I think if we all study together, oh, we could study history. I mean, any material. My point's being, if three people study together, then eventually they would be on one accord because, its content is just that, man. Hey, I'll sit back and listen, bro. I mean, I just wanted to chop with you brothers just a little bit. You know what I mean? Uh,
Hmm.
I try to limit myself to other people's lives and stuff. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I
It
really
don't matter to me. Me and Mo.
Missing children. I don't need no rent paid. I don't want no banging, bad looking wife. I don't want no career. I don't need nothing. I need the power that I would use if I connected to the Creator would be to save the innocent missing children that's fallen victim to this system that we have. So I'm always open to somebody that can connect me to the Creator, and I can get and ask and receive, because that's what I'm gonna ask for. Everybody be asking for. I don't know what they be asking for, but I know they said they getting their blessings, and then if I believe what they believe, God will bless me too. I tried it all types of different ways, and these missing children, the number is going up. And
by itself. I'm adopting that day, that moment. So we all out here searching. But I do want to say this about the see the Bible even talks about this stuff. I mean, that Bible's like a time machine. It's not like what Christianity teaches. It, and they talk about these babies being missing, bro. I mean, that's what it talks about. It talk about people sacrificing children. I mean, man, I'm
Oh, we
telling
know. We know it talk about
yeah,
that.
you, woo,
God is even doing it. God is doing it too. He's sacrificing his damn son.
in his blood because God
Bro.
puts his blood.
No,
He said,
we talking about child sacrifice.
"Oh, I'm about to get to that." You know what I mean? But he was shocked when the children of Israel, just in conversation, just story time, like when the children of Israel went into Canaan, he said, "Man, y'all start worshiping Moloch and start sacrificing your children." He said, "I didn't even think of that. I mean, like I didn't even think of that wickedness." You know what I mean? So
He
and then
thought about that was it Abraham? Yeah, with Abraham.
no, I'm saying that was the children of Israel, but it happened back in Abraham's day too. And just think about
But you
this.
just said he didn't think of that, and he did it. The angel appeared and grabbed his hand.
Let me clear you up on that. He
When he
oh,
knows that your faith is not going to be broken,
well, how about this?
you
Because
broke it.
it's done for you, bro, not for the living. They're not done for him or the dead. I mean,
Here's the
it's
question:
just
how do
bro.
we
I
actually
mean,
know that? If that is the case,
but
right? How do we
that,
know it?
but that's not even a showstopper question or nothing. You know, it's not like you guys had real show.
And you got to take that whole thing with you. Yeah, some of the stuff that he's saying, and then we start freestyling.
Okay,
A lot of the stuff, and
Okay,
that's
so
what we talk about.
and check this out.
Go
Hold on,
ahead, Mo.
before we jump off that, right? You got your Bible with you, bro?
man, come on, bro. When man, this is gonna be it.
I'm gonna let you know beforehand.
Hold on. What's the
I've
chapter?
asked this question
Where we
plenty of
at?
times. Genesis, we got to get Genesis 22 because that's
Okay.
where that.
You say when you say go over it, you mean interpret?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it got to be explained.
Yeah. We can just interpret it. I mean,
So
bro, we
we
gonna
we we about to start arguing, man.
Nah, we should be we should be good. He got some good vibes. He got some
Hey,
good vibes.
we can get this done in decency and order. Why?
And,
Yeah, I don't have that.
and it came to pass
And
after these
I got
things that God,
Ezekiel X.
22 for Isaac, where Abraham is tested.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
well maybe I didn't
22.
write it down. Hold on, I gotta go get my pencil.
Actually starts
So
about
I didn't write that
27.
down.
You can start all the way at the top if you want, but about 22:8 in there, 22:7. Yep. But what were you gonna say about that, bro? Why he's getting ready? I mean, I
Uh,
don't know what you're gonna pull
okay,
out.
okay. So Holy Spirit is supposed to give you the proper interpretation.
Well, man, who's doing the work? You know what I mean? Who's seeking the knowledge? You know what I mean? So, but what
One of those.
effect about
Okay,
that,
to me, those are two different gods.
James? And I'm gonna start at 1 and 1, but you said James and what? I mean, because you got a Testament over here. Boom, go back, and we're gonna grab that. This is a new app, and I'm trying to figure out how to use it. Boom, 1. All right, so now you said 1 and 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
You
no
can go
man,
where.
earlier when we read, it was talking to he was talking to the children of Israel. Writing was to the children of Israel. Now this is at a different disposition of time. To writing.
Indeed.
Right? Now here's what I'm saying. Here's why I'm saying that they said don't be tempted. We ain't talking about religion. Let's not talk about throw Christianity. Me, I'm saying throw everything you heard of Christians out the window because they won't talk to me. Okay, they ain't trying to hear what I'm talking about either. So I
Absolute. That's an absolute statement.
all
It's
right. Well,
absolute.
okay, but then that's absolute for anything. You only know those things because when you hear the word temptation or tempt, you as a human know what that. See, you have a definition to temptation. So why wouldn't God be able to tempt? You know what the word means based on the first 5 books of the Bible, and none of them can contradict the first 5 books because this just the way.
He tempt anyone. He doesn't do this. So
How
is
about this?
James lying?
Hey, how about this? Let's. So that's another man witness saying, "Well, God, I got enticed or something." What is that saying in James? Is that saying the same thing as saying God tempted Abraham? Let no man say. 14, 15, 16. He's telling you what he meant.
Okay. Can
Boom. All right, so just let me pull down to it just a second. And
So saying something different.
hold
James said that the Lord does not tempt any.
on. And you could do it how you like. You could just dismiss it. Really, you don't have to. Yeah, you could just really live your life. To
Right.
get into it, it's better to know. It's better to study, and so you're not kind of hurt. The Old Testament
you want that
definition
TV dinner?
spoke.
Okay, go take it to your boat. Tell me warm it up.
It's a whole totally different definition, word, every or
They both say test.
okay. Well, English is a very equivocal language. Every word was
Hebrews
very
the same
exact.
way though.
It
Cause
was exact. I'm not. You know what? We did what we did. I enjoyed talking to you, brothers. I really. But I think we're good. You guys can believe what the hell you want to. Some people believe in Easter bunnies, all kind of shit. Look, but here's something that I hear something that I bet you were in the depth. And there,
I believe in the devil.
I'm not saying you believe, but I'm quite sure that there's a belief system of demons and eyeballs and what Christianity mean is the devil. A devil's just an adversary, or don't take you, or y'all better figure something out. There's really only two options, and you say you don't believe in abortion because people are
Dealing with we're not dealing with a small group of people who wrote the Bible. We're dealing with a small.
And so now you're going back to the Bible said it was given to a certain group of people. But I just read to you something in another religion that's inside the book.
What did you read to me? What, bro? Sorry, I missed. What is mysteryism? Where is this from? Where did this come from? Let's
Okay,
get
look, hold on, wait. Because you said you like to read and you study. If you're studying the Bible,
okay.
then you have to study. And you're not studying where this religion was contemporary with the creation of Christianity, right? During the Roman time, there was a religion called Mithraism.
Oh,
It comes from Mithra. You have to look at what was going on in that religion in order to understand Christianity.
well,
Correct.
but
There's no
Was it Pope Leo the Eighth or the Fifth that told his Christian subjects to stop worshiping the sun? It
is
was
that
one of them. It was. Go ahead.
no? You guys. I mean, because I have no idea because what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
one of the popes told his subjects to stop worshiping the sun because Christians used to worship the sun just like they used to pray 5 times a day like Muslims. That's part of their tradition.
But
These new Christians go off Paul's writings.
hey, but hey, but what did Peter say about Paul's right? He said, was you baptized by Paul? I mean, was Paul crucified for you? Listen, because and then what else?
We just know it was a man that lived. He could have lived in old age and died and was buried.
All right, well, how about this? Well,
Some
maybe.
records do say he escaped.
Hey, how about this? Why? Look,
I didn't know that, Mo.
Yeah, they say he
question.
escaped.
Look, I mean, that's the whole
Mo, you
Islam.
keeping secrets. What you
Hey,
looking for, son?
Because I don't have enough
I don't know where they
I
at. They
don't have
got to be
enough
somewhere up here.
I don't have enough sources to support it. It's just something that they said.
Israel. All you have to do is just listen to any Islamic book. Is they said he did escape death, and all of them did that. However, here's what I was in era, and I don't waste the energy on.
Because people keep talking about it. If they're going to keep knocking on my door, leaving notes and inviting themselves in my house and talking to my kids about it in school and daycare and all, even on my kids' the internet on their social media, pushing it in my face.
Well, I would say that that Bible has devoured.
See, this is what it is. The
You know,
people that believe in the religions, they want people like us to shut up and not talk about it, not to bring up anything, not to question nothing in the book. But this is my motto: as long as the churches stay open, I have to stay open. If you're gonna go to the church, if you're gonna go to the church and get you a fountain drink and a hot dog, and you come out and then I tell you what how that hot dog came into production, how it was formed and made, and I told you to leave your faith. I'm just telling you, know the key players that came along with the creation of the religion. That's it.
I see what you're doing. Look, but you got to realize, I mean, who hijacked the book and created this religion to include themselves in it, and you still see it in their hands today. That's a fact. Nobody want to say that. That's the real fact. Why don't we talk about the people who hijacked the information and put it on themselves like they were the people? And why if y'all really want to get it out, why don't we talk like that? The whole world knows.
Because I don't care
So
if they're black or white
Yeah,
out there lying.
now you go back when it's obvious that you don't want to hold that.
Yeah, it could be. Listen, my stance on this is that these people are it's white people. I don't care. They still lying. My people lying and they lying. They're not.
Right?
The creator did not tell them any of this stuff.
All right. Do you know
Because
what you want?
when you
Uh,
find the oldest records where they got this stuff from, when you find the original Noah story, there's no God interfering with mankind saying, I'm going to kill you guys because you were bad. It was a natural disaster that took place, and they documented how they survived it. And if it was to happen again, they had things set up so they can survive it again, and they passed it down to people in their family. And they even started charting the cosmos so that they can see when these, because they lined up cataclysms on the earth with the cosmos and what was happening up there. It wasn't that later it was said that God did that,
hey,
but originally, in the original story, it was just a cycle, and they caught on to the cycle, and they were able to get ahead of these droughts and floods and famines. My God made the flood. They all died. They all all of them got wiped out by these things that they saying their God was doing.
All right.
And it
Have you
was
heard?
the cycles that people were supposed to be paying attention to. The cycles.
You gonna gaslight me? No. Uh, you heard the word iconoclast. Iconoclast. It means whitewash. It's a word that means whitewash, and it means nothing else but to whitewash history. Iconoclast. You can look that up anytime you like. The story you talked about the after the flood, and then man tried to figure out how to do it, and they started looking at the well, that's in the Bible too. What they built was called the tower. Everything that you know, anything that's in its history right now, did man even talk about the dates that you have, 2022, everything around you, the calendar, all this stuff comes out of that Bible, bro. So y'all could you could play the games. You can choose not to play the game, but they can just move your piece whether you want to or not.
I,
You believe everything in this book is real
well,
and it's true.
they look, but look,
What
the
The
timelines
Romans,
existed.
the Romans created the Gregorian calendar. If the Gregorian calendar,
to remember us? Well, I wouldn't have talked about the calendars. I mean, my man
No, but
talked
I'm
about
saying you're not including Janus for January.
that again.
Janus.
he did say he said January. He said January and August.
No, I said July,
He said
but
July and August.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
I
more
thought
than.
you
That's
said
why I said there's
January and
more than
August.
two. That's why I was saying there's more than two.
no, there's
Janus is also a Roman edition.
I think it's a renaming. Would you agree to that?
Oh, of course, it's renaming, but
It's a
we don't know. But here's the problem: we don't
well,
know because we weren't keeping track of time. We don't know when they did it and how much they added. That's the problem. We don't know when they did it
but the Bible talks about them coming in, changing time and everything. Like it's all in. It's like ragu, bro. It's in there. It's in there. It's in there.
because they built the. Listen, you know where the AD BC timeline came from?
I'm listening. I mean, because I do wholeheartedly, deeply. But go ahead. Let me hear you. I want to hear what you say.
Okay, the AD BC timeline came after they made the Bible. They built it around the Bible. That's why everybody thinks that they can use the Bible to trace back the beginning of the earth. And we got animals that predate Adam,
The book was written.
way millions of years before.
Hey, it was written like 60 years, 60 AD. All them Bibles, all them books was written almost right behind the Quran, like almost 100 years, almost some close to 200 years after.
The Quran, the
But
Quran wasn't in written form at the time you're talking about. That
well,
came later. That
it,
came after the so-called Islamic people were fighting with during the Crusades. They didn't have a written language yet. They just adopted Arab. Arabic is not originally to the people like the what do they call them, Arabs or whatever. That wasn't their original language.
what? Are you familiar with the Semitic language? Hey,
Say
hey,
that again.
bro. Hey, you guys enjoy, man. I don't want to get you off. I mean, enjoy your show, bro. I don't want to be countering you on.
Listen,
Was he trying to say that
so
was he trying to say Arabic was a Semitic language? I don't.
I'm not sure, but I was asking them where the AD BC timeline came from, and they started that.
But
Just
this is
listen,
the thing,
listen to
bro.
the answer. Listen
He
to the
believed.
answer. Look, the guy introduced the AD timeline, right, in 525 AD. Just can anybody tell me in the comments or you, Suten, tell me what's wrong with that? They say that they introduced the AD uh, timeline in 525 AD. Just think
that's
about that.
that's
Think about
that's
that shit.
400 and something years past the time of Jesus.
And they're using 525 AD to tell you when
So
they
they just
started using it.
they
What
just
the fuck is that?
they just restarted. They restarted history.
And wrote it so they were able. So if I tell you that I start, listen, check this out. If I tell you that I started the AD timeline in 525 AD, then for the 524 years, I can write history. You can write the history for the 524 years because you started that in 525. We don't know what the hell happened. We don't know what the date was when you did that. We only have the date you gave us with your timeline. How
They
you going to
pushed
use
it.
your time? You're going to
They
use a
pushed
new
the date to
timeline.
match the whole Jesus story.
Exactly. They had to fix it because remember, right around that same time, shit is popping off with Cleopatra. Right there, that's it. That same 100-year window with Jesus, Cleopatra and shit. Egypt is falling all the way down. She's the the last person that could bring them back into rulership, and she's mixed, but she was the last piece
Yeah.
that could bring them back. So right around that time, and I think that's what the distraction is
Wasn't
about.
wasn't she Phoenician mixed with Phoenician?
Hmm. That's the Ptolemies, right?
Yeah, the Ptolemies. The people that introduced Serapis or Serapis, the other Jesus,
Sir rapist, right?
because they pronounce it like three. Well, they call him Serapis, they call him Serapis, and then he has like an another name. It's like Seripio or something. I just forget how they say it. So he got three different names, but
Freak,
it's
no,
all
freak.
kind of
Hey, freak, listen, you cannot use that, bro. How can I, if I made a timeline, right? I can't tell you that I started to use this AD timeline at 525 AD. I can only, that's crazy to me. I don't understand how people accepted that. In 525 AD, we started using the AD timeline. Then what
that's
is
like
525 AD then? What the
that's
fuck is
like
that?
we moved Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan ain't exist. The greatest player of all time starts with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is the introduction of the greatest player of all time. We're not even counting Michael Jordan or Magic or Larry Bird. They don't exist. It's because we moved the timeline.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why, look, and they messed it up. Yo, they messed up big time. That's why when you go back to the time of the flood, Egyptians are just sitting there chilling. But the whole
Chilling.
world is supposed to be underwater and they chilling. Bro, the boat is still there. The boat should have been lifted up in the water and floated somewhere else. The boat's
They
still there.
found they found a couple of these within I forget the name of the boat, but they call it Khufu's boat, right?
Hmm.
They got instant, they reconstructed it. But they got and that wasn't even one of the biggest ones. That one was like a little passenger thing that they got
Yeah,
on and
they
they
got
just
one
went
that
through
looked
the
like an aircraft carrier. You saw that shit when they remodeled?
no.
That shit is
But
crazy.
they have the high they got a hieroglyph of a one on a beam. And they can attribute that to, oh, look, if they knew it was the future, we were going to have airplanes.
Hey, look what Outlaw said.
Where's it at?
I'm telling you. Look what he said. Scroll up a little bit. He said these black folks gonna be mad when they pass. They gonna be like, damn, Monin was right.
Is Outlaw from Chicago? Because they the only people I know who say them.
Mhm.
I swear.
He just said that thing. Yo, listen, anybody who been on my lives, they know I already exhausted all my sources, man. I did this for hours. I stayed on live for 12 hours showing them everything. I'm proven. My shit is proven. I don't need to make I can talk like this because I've already proven myself.
Not no, they want the source. That's their go to. Like that used to be our go to move, and they took it from us. What's your source? What's your source? Then we flip it back on them. What's your source? It's in the Bible. No, you can't do that, man. You
Bro, we
cannot
put
do
in
that.
so much work The people can handle them. I don't even have to look when I make videos. I don't even have to comment. I don't have to deal with the comment section. People gonna jump in there and beat your ass for me. They gonna beat your ass for me because they remember. And if not, they can go back to the damn video. They can go to my archive in my
Like
bio and look through that shit. The shit is
they
there.
say the same shit. Well, I'm doing a lot of studying, but you're not like you can't sit here and tell me that you study the good and the bad. Because the bad outweighs the good when it comes to this book.
Right. We had to
You
deal
just
with
you're
we had to deal with Israel. It was just in a funny way with the Hyksos and the Canaanites. You get what I'm saying? We had to deal with that in a funny way. We didn't want that to be true, but then we was like, damn, they the fucking Canaanites. So
dude. You
they
know
still
what? I found that out in I think 2017. I was reading. What the fuck was I reading? It was something. Shaka
I think
almost
I
posted an article,
Jabari
and I
hit me
was
with that
reading.
one.
I was reading the article. This is before Jabari got on the scene. I was reading the article, and I was like, "These motherfuckers is the same people." And then I started looking at the language. I was like, "Wait a minute. The Canaanite script. That's what they used to call it. They used to call it the Canaanite script. Now no, it's not the Canaanite script no more. We've made our own little fucking language. You
Right.
took these people's language. You took their language, and then you start adding other shit to it. And now they don't exist because we wiped them out. So you
Yo,
mean to
bro,
tell me
they spun the letters around, bro. They twisted the letter. It's the same letter. They just turned it upside down and act like they made another language.
you remember when we was on here and the dude? It was a dude. He his background was I think it was the old so-called Hebrew writing, Paleo Hebrew. And I
Hmm.
was like, it looked like Phoenician to me. He never responded.
Yeah, I remember that. That's when I was trying to figure out and find the alphabet, right,
Yeah. I was like,
bro?
and you kept telling that man. You kept telling him, like, yo, man, this we can't find this there. You're saying this, but I can't find it in their fucking letters. I'm not finding it. It's like they want to be right so bad. And I have no problem with people that want to be right. But if you just going off you believe, then you're not doing enough research.
How the hell did Hyksos got somebody named Jacob? How the fuck did that happen? They got one of their kings was named Jacob. Come on, man. One of their kings was named Jacob, and they the only ones you can find with an Exodus from Egypt, and it wasn't
don't
because
forget
they were
about
slaves. It's because they was ruling in there,
don't
and then they
forget
got
about
kicked out
Danny
by.
L. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Daniel was a prophet. Oh, he had dreams and okay. What about Daniel? It's like you can find names, the same names that this Bible is using in other people's cultures, doing some of the same shit. But when it comes to the book, it's true. Everything in the show me the Tower of Babel. Where's this tower at?
let me see. Let's see where this is supposed to be at.
Because they said
Anyway,
God destroyed it.
where is it? Puma Punku, Machu Picchu. Where is it going to be at? Because it ain't in a correct area. You can't even use
It's
Machu
supposed to
Picchu.
be like it's this that shit is so fucking strange, and it is supposed to have been the largest structure known to man. They said that motherfucker was almost touching the heavens, and then
It's
it
in
got
Babylon.
destroyed.
Ain't nothing in Babylon that big.
That's what I'm
Crazy.
saying. Like it was a wasteland. Parts of Babylon is a wasteland to this day. So what the fuck are they talking about? What the fuck are they talking about?
Hey, well, check this out. I just added this to my book last night, right? Because I caught something. You know how like Jeremiah, you got Haggai, you got Habakkuk, you got Micah, you got Josiah, you got Elijah's not in there yet. Who else you got? Ezekiel. You got all of these people who are supposed to be the prophets, right? They the prophets, and they speaking, and they're telling their people, like, listen, God said if you try to leave Assyria right now, y'all gonna lose. Just stay here, don't be afraid, and He'll spare you. But if you leave and flee to Egypt, then He gonna kill you. How did people not catch, right, that this is not the prophet speaking for God, but he's speaking for the king of Assyria, Babylon, and Persia? The Persians, the Babylonians, and Assyrians are telling the prophets what to tell the people. If you do this, then I'm gonna punish you. So then when it happens, they leave. They go, we're gonna escape this bondage, and they leave, and then they catch them because they in a pocket with the Egyptians at the time, right? They gonna run to Egypt, and they
Yeah,
they, they in their
the
pocket.
Assyrians was.
Right. So they they in their pocket. So they run, get their ass kicked, and they go, damn, the oracle was real. No, he just told you if you leave, I'm gonna whoop your ass. But he knows that you're superstitious and you like numerology and prophecies. So we're gonna tell your prophet to give you the warning, and then when it happens,
But
it'll make you fear
you gotta
God.
remember that they're poor and dumb. They're not
That too.
educated. The people we talking about are not educated yet. So their minds are still being manipulated.
Fact.
They don't have education. They didn't, like, even if they were having schooling, they weren't smarter than the people that was ruling them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that until what? I don't forgot the dude's name. I don't think it, I don't I it was a guy that was right before Herodotus. That's when you had people that weren't rulers being smart. I'm talking about, like,
Mm-hmm.
you might have like one or two people, but right before Herodotus, it was like a majority of the people were just as smart as the ruling families and shit.
Right.
Damn, I forgot.
And,
I
and
forgot the
and then
motherfucker's name.
think about this too. Between 1200 and 1150 BC, these people pop up out of nowhere. This is where Israel, like the Hebrews, is out in the open. Like, yeah, we the
Yeah,
Hebrews,
and the other
out of
thing is
nowhere.
Herodotus never wrote about them, so they had to have came after he died, because he don't know nothing about these people. He kept records of everything. Man, he don't
And
mention the Jews.
Josephus, hey, look, Josephus is quoting. He's using Manetho as a source.
Uh-huh.
Josephus is using Manetho as a source, and he's stating that the Hyksos are the Jews.
Yep.
He's stating that they're the Jews. So and then they're the only ones with an Exodus. So then it proves that they exaggerated the story and said we were in captivity. No, you saw them fighting. You saw upper and lower fighting each other, and you took that opportunity to move in while they were fighting each other. That's what uh
There was in the Levant.
Kamos. Kamos was in fighting with his brothers and them in Upper Egypt and shit, right? Then after they done with their battle, they come back and the Hyksos is in there ruling. So Amos and his brother had to come back and kick them out. That's why 400,000
Yeah,
of them
I think
was walking through
they
the
came
desert.
in. They came in a couple of times. But
Yeah,
when you look at the wall and with the depiction of the Hyksos, what color are they?
the
Because they not
Hyksos.
black.
No, the Hyksos is them what's the name looking people? The what do they call them? The shepherds.
Yeah, but they
Those are the
when you look
shepherds.
in because on the wall they got you got the Egyptian, you got the African, and you got like the Asiatic,
The
and then you got
Asiatic,
like the Hykso, right?
right?
The Hykso and the Asiatic almost look similar.
Right,
They
because
don't look
that's
like the
the Palestine,
and
the
this is the
Palestinians,
people this is the people that they say
which is
we are.
which is Canaan. Those are the Hyksos are the Palestinians, which are the Canaanites. How the hell is that us? And they still over there, and they know their history. They know they were ruling over there for a second. That's why they want to go back. That's why they still want to go back. No, it's ours. You see them? They pop in here sometimes. We so mad. You're not Egyptians. That was us over there. You was over there, and you
Dude,
got your ass kicked the fuck
they
out.
went they went in Canaan. They went all through Phoenicia, right? And they said that this was an Egyptian dynasty, like They were rulers. Egypt ruled this land. They found all types of artifacts. Why is it that they're not finding no remnants of the Jews?
None, because they don't
They're
exist.
finding nothing.
They only
It's
exist
like
after they started getting into their disagreement about we don't want Asherah and Yahweh, we just want Yahweh. Only man could be the God. They had their little disagreement, then they split up. And because they got into the pockets of the Romans and the Greeks at that time, because they started working with them, people don't even understand that they was living with those people. They were able to make a name for themselves because they were in the pocket of the people who were ruling at the time.
there was how you gonna say people oppress you? Oh well, the Romans were oppressing the Jews, but the Jews is joining their armies.
Right?
If these people is oppressing you, why are you joining their army?
We're
That's like
interpreting their
now when
dreams.
you
They used to pay them to interpret. They used to pay to how is they oppressing you and you sitting there setting up shop like Sarnetta be on the side of
they
the on the
y'all
strip
claim they
talking
killed
about
Jesus
tell me your
Christ, but
dreams.
y'all joining they shit. You can't do that shit. And it's like
Translating
it's
text
not
on
like
them.
how it is today, where you got like probably 2% of the police force is black. You got like 0.1% of the politicians is black. Back then, majority of the Jews, they were in the civilization with the Romans, kicking it with them, eating, marrying off, joining their army, being high articulate people in their society. So, at what point in time did y'all say, "Oh, fuck them. We hate the Romans. We gonna do our own thing"? And when did they do this? Because a lot of this shit's not adding up. It's not.
The one thing we do know is people come from people. So you can't just pop up out of nowhere. Hebrews. People come from people, man. You just pop like they landed on a spaceship or some shit. Shit is ridiculous. And then look, hey, look, here's the other thing that exposed them, right? This will show you that the Hyksos is the same
Jesus,
as the
but
Israelites.
Jesus left. He left on a spaceship.
I bet he did. After
But
he gave
when
up
you
the
say
ghost.
he ascended into heaven. That's to me. That sounds like you on some type of craft.
Take off. Look, check this out. This how you know they the same exact people. Just like you said, they look exactly the same. They were when the Hyksos wanted to move back into Egypt, right after they got kicked out. They said, "Listen, before we get in there, this is on their record." They said, "Let's tell them that we are not shepherds. Let's tell them that we're not shepherds. We're gonna pretend that we somebody else." How in the world can you pretend like you somebody else unless you look like y'all all look the same? That means the Israelites and the Canaanites look the same because the Israelites, the Hebrews, they're known as the shepherds. So if they thought that they could fool somebody, like I could say, "Hey, I'm gonna tell them that I'm actually Dominican," because you've seen a black Dominican. I can tell them I'm Dominican, right? So there must be someone there that looks like me. If I can say that I'm not that person or I am that person, and you could say, "Well, I can't say that he is a shepherd or he's not because they have shepherds over there and people who are not shepherds." But they both look the same. All you got to do is make the claim that you're not, this isn't your practice. So that shows you right there that they look exactly the same and they didn't know the difference. And then the other part that puts the nail in the coffin is that you're not going to find anything over there with no damn slavery. You're not going to find no slavery with no damn Jews over there. That's too much. How did they cover that up? Okay, we're done slaving them. Let's hide all this shit. And everything is already built at that point. Anyway,
Yep.
so what the hell was you building?
When they're supposed to have been in captivity. Matter of fact, we can when you look at majority of the places that these Jews go, they are always going in captivity. You notice that? The
Yep.
Babylonians is enslaving you, the Egyptians is enslaving you. Everywhere y'all go, y'all getting enslaved. Why? Then they claim that they went to the west coast of Africa, right? Then when they got to the west coast of Africa, the tribes that were originally in that land started selling them into slave. Come on, so y'all everywhere y'all in bondage. What the fuck?
Then they
You
said
can
that.
I would have stopped. I would have stopped. Like, hey, time out, bro. We keep worshiping this God everywhere we go. He keeping us in slavery.
Everybody's sinning. The whole nation is sinning. Everywhere they go, they all sinning and transgressing. Like, come
Oh,
on.
look, man, we going back to Egypt, man. Shit's fucked up. They tripping. Like they don't. And like people read, they read the book, and they not really understanding the stories. Everywhere y'all go, y'all going into bondage. How is that? Then
They
from
went from
somehow you
Assyria.
miraculously you would.
It went from Assyria. Yo, they went from Assyria to Babylon. Then tried to run back to Assyria. Then got stuck back in Babylon. Then went to the Persians, and that's where Chronicles come from. Clearly, you can
Bro,
see
like
Chronicles. How they writing personal
how
stuff about Xerxes.
how are they doing all this zigzagging and ain't nobody writing about them?
That's tough.
They're doing the Aliyah. They're going back forth and forth, right? And ain't nobody writing about them.
Nothing. Not one fucking word.
I'm not understanding this. Like even after the Exodus, and this is in the Bible. What is the dude's name? You said it was Joseph, right? They came after Moses. He's fighting in the
Joshua.
desert. Joshua. He fought like over 80 motherfucking civilizations. He's fighting 80 tribes. That's what the Bible states. Like he fought like up to 80 tribes, and he was wiping out their towns. He was wiping out their cities. Why the fuck are these people not? He's Alexander. He doing the same shit Alexander was doing. Am I lying? Alexander was wiping motherfuckers off.
Easy. And taking your
before
shit.
Alex, but who was the other dude? This is after Alexander. It was the dude that was coming. He was coming to where Cleopatra was, the Roman god. What's his name? Was it Octavius?
Oh, you talking about that's him and his son. Yeah, Octavius. And then
she ended up killing herself.
Augustus is after that.
Because it was a dude. He was married. He was married to somebody's sister. So he was the brother-in-law who was ruling Rome. And he was coming to get him. And he fled to Egypt. And the Egyptians got scared of the dude that was coming to get him. So they cut his head off. And so now he's pissed off because they cut his head off. And he, from what I was told, he didn't want to kill him because he was married to the dude's sister. So he was just gonna like chastise him and shit. But even if he wanted to kill him, he was like, you know what? Y'all killing this man and he's a Roman. Y'all ain't got no business killing the Roman because y'all not Romans. So y'all meddling in our affairs. Y'all could have just put him in jail instead of killing him. She's scared and she murked herself. That's the dude everybody was scared of. He was going around doing some of the same shit that the so-called dude was doing. Joshua was doing. How do you sit there and you're going to war with these tribes, and you're killing the tribes. You're going in and not only are you killing off the tribe, you're destroying their cities. And they're not writing about you. I would have been scared to death. Tribe. I'm gonna be right. I'm like Mo. They got us. We no longer exist. Only a couple of us made it out. I'm letting you know this dude Joshua is on his way. Be prepared. Link up with the other nations around you. He's coming ASAP. And I would have had it because they got like people that run the letters. I would have gave it to the dude and told him, don't stop. If you just stop to rest, and then after you rest, go. So you would have got the news. Oh shit! Jeff said Joshua was coming. I got to get everybody together. Y'all would have been prepared when Joshua would have came to y'all town. Y'all would have had a massive wall around this motherfucker, and no one wrote about him.
Nope, he just went wipe people out and wipe their memory. He had that MIB device. Right after
Flash. He marked the city.
He had that MIB device. Right after
Flash. He marked the cities, the towns, the people, the children, and he took the women. No one's writing about you in history, but they think this shit is real. Oh, it's real.
Look at this.
Everything in the Bible is
Look at
real.
this. And look when he parts the sea, Mecca, Medina, Sharm, the Gulf of Aqaba, Jamash, Algonquin, Jordan, Alat, Sinai. He split the whole sea in half.
A lot of those surrounding places was ruled by Egyptians. So if the Egyptians saw Moses parting this shit, they would have like, damn, the Pharaoh's in trouble. Okay, get our army together because we got to go see what's going on. So they would have. I don't know if he clapped his hand or he hit the staff on the ground, and then the Dead Sea, even though we know that's a fucking lie, they would have saw this. All of them would have got wiped out. All of the Jews would have got wiped out that was with Moses because you just killed the Egyptian ruler. And when we're gonna put him on trial. No, y'all killed our ruler. All y'all escaped, and he tried to come get y'all. So now we need revenge for our leader. So we taking heads. We cracking all y'all heads. That would have been the end of the Jews.
8,000-foot wave just sitting in the air.
No,
And
two waves.
Yeah, two, because he split it. It's two 8,000-foot waves.
I'm in the tower on the west side. You in the tower on the east side. You gonna write about this shit? I'm gonna write about this shit. No one's writing about it. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? We are seeing it. And then not even that. Or because this is what the Jews say. Oh, we got oral tradition. So you mean to tell me you're the only civilization with oral tradition, or could it be that these other civilizations have oral tradition and you just adapted their oral traditions? And then Constantine came and he started killing everybody because they didn't follow Christianity. It doesn't add up. The things that these people are saying about she has no divinity, because there was a Christian group that claimed if Jesus' mother gave birth to him and she was pure, that means they wiped those people out and told them the remainder people, you can no longer worship Mary because Mary doesn't have anything to do with, all she did was have Jesus. So her divinity was only when she had Jesus. After Jesus was born, her divinity went away. But the book don't say that. They took all that shit out.
She walked around with God in her stomach for 9 months.
And this is what I'm saying. She didn't have no magical power. Are you fucking kidding me? I seen Black Lightning. He got power. He got his wife pregnant. His 2 kids got power, but the wife don't. Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking kidding me? Every female on the planet Earth, if she has unprotected sex with a man, she carries his DNA. This is science. So if Jesus is inside, that means God would have had to swim through the vaginal canal to get her pregnant, right? He would have had to insert himself into her. It ain't like he just flew over her stomach and she got pregnant. She has everlasting DNA.
He said somebody need to make a metaverse for the Bible.
It's probably already coming.
I'm done. We found Jesus' tomb. Where's it at? Put these glasses on, I'll show you. Get your stupid ass.
And it's like, I'm not saying that this man didn't exist. For years I said Jesus didn't exist. I think it was that's when I was like, damn, I'm trying to find, like, I'm doing what I always do. I'm going for the good and I'm going for the bad. If the good is outweighing the bad, then I have to come to my agreement. The census is, okay, well, he could have existed. I'm not saying, oh yeah, he was walking around, he was spitting on people, he was bringing people back from the dead, and then the dude he brought back from his dead, some scholars believe that was his lover, like the other dude was his lover. I'm not saying all that. All I'm saying is, okay, it was possibly a dude during the time of Jesus with the same name. But the story of him doing all these miracles come from another dude. Judas, I think it's Judas of Galilee or some shit. And the Romans ended up killing him and 1,000 of his followers because he went against the Romans. He was persecuted for the shit. It kind of sounds, but then you got to take into similar to Jesus. They performed miracles. They were the truth. Like the guy that was just up here. When I read to him Mithra, I read it to him, and then he tried to say, "Oh, you didn't read that." Okay, don't look up who they was worshiping. It's kind of how ironic that the Catholic Virgin Constantine's mother was from. So all he did was go in there when the scholars was creating the new version of this book, was say, "Oh well, you guys are just going to follow what my mom's religion is and make that the religion of the world. And all those that don't believe it, I'm going to kill. I'm boiling niggas. I'm killing my wife. I'm killing my son. I don't."
Fucking foreskin necklaces and shit.
Like having foreskin cereal. They were doing this shit.
Walk around
and then
like
it might seem strange now, but back then those were their traditional practices. I don't give a fuck what traditional practice you got. If you have to lift my fucking robe up, and then you got to put your hand in my inner thigh and look at my fucking shaft to see if I've been circumcised, that's sick. That is not a practice that a man and another man should be doing. Oh, I'm gonna put my hand in his inner. You know when it's hot as fuck during the summer. You know how you got to do that mid squat so you can keep your balls from sticking to the side of your thigh. That you know the end part. You have to squat. So that's where they're putting their hand. So they grab your nuts. Am I lying?
nope. Right before you take you gotta take an oath, man. If you taking an oath. You swear on my seed. You be like, man, on my son. Look, you gotta be like, yo, on my son, man, on my daughter, on my baby. They literally did it, man. You gonna put your hand on my sack, on my son. No, before you finish saying that, put it on my seed.
Right?
Put your hand on my seed.
It's sick shit.
Crazy.
They don't want to study the practices of the old Jews. They don't. This shit is sick. Who does that? What civilization eats their fucking kids? We all dying. Matter of fact, there's a oh my gosh, what is it? It's part of like the Oregon Trail, where these people that were on the trail and they start eating each other. Damn, I forgot the name of this family. They were eating each other and shit. It's just like the people that got stuck on that fucking mountain on that plane crash. It was the survival tactic. So they're eating each other. Okay, that's cool. But you mean to tell me that all of us are in this tribe, and instead of eating the old fucks, they can't put up a fight, we gonna kill these babies.
Crazy. Get the fuck out of here. You got it. Something is wrong with you at that point. That ain't even something that something is clearly wrong with you.
They won't. It's like instead of you getting spare ribs, you gotta get baby back ribs.
Baby back. Hey, but let's get to it though. We know what Malak and Marduk and all of them was on, right? with that adrenochrome and an Anunnaki, right? That's they cover up. We had to eat our babies because we disobeyed the Most High. No, you was eating babies because that's what they like doing. That's what those deities you were worshiping, El, Yahweh, Asherah, all of them comes from them the pantheon
Was
from
it was
Sumer.
it was it who was it that wanted to eat Kronos? Was it Zeus?
I thought that was it? Yeah. That's his dad, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then the mom hid the baby and gave him, I think, bolt rocks or some shit. I don't know how the fuck you mistake rocks. You can eat rocks thinking you eating your fucking kid. Fuck that shit. Fucking, it's all fucking strange. It's hella fucking strange. Like if you go and you look at the Greek mythology, like when it goes to like the Satyr, Mount Olympus, the oyster shells, all of this shit is in the book. It's in the book. And they're not doing a comparative study of these other civilizations. They just everything in the book is real. You gotta
Then they
what
fucking drive
what's
they
the name of
drive the
that?
sword
It's
in.
like it's Pan, right? Pan is a half goat, half man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the Bible, you got a talking donkey. That's Pan to me. They just made him weak. But where do you know you slap the shit out of an animal? That's like you got a dog and you hit your dog turn around and start talking to you in human.
Why'd you do that?
Human English. Like, hey man, why the fuck you hit me?
Man, I think that's symbolic for them saying they talking to each other, saying that this new deity we making is going to be talking to some dumbasses. That's what they say. Like this is going to be the this man is going to be talking to dumbasses in the future. He talking to straight up asses, the
And they
jackasses.
tell us, they said that when the religion was being created, they will only read certain scripture out loud to the public because the people that they were talking to were poor and uneducated. I just say they were fucking dumb, but they don't want to like degrade them, so they say they were poor and uneducated. So you
And
talking to people.
they keep saying they were killing Christians who and destroying their Bibles because they didn't want you to have it, and we don't have that Bible that they had back then. Idiot. We don't have that Bible that they had. They had way more books in it. They had way more truth into it, and that's why they didn't want them to have it. They had a Bible that they were allowed to read. They were killing them for reading the book that only the Pope and them was the bishops was supposed to have.
It said, who was that? It was Ralph. Ralph said, the Bible says all scripture is divine. So when you say all scripture, you talking about everything. The Nag Hammadi text, all of that shit. That's scripture. You can't just say, oh well, only the stuff in the Bible. It don't say that. The Bible don't say the Bible. Nowhere in it does the Bible mention the Bible. So it says scripture. Scriptures were first written out on scrolls. From the scrolls, it went into books. So you had they would have to manuscript it. You would have to write it out. Because if I'm writing a book, I'm not gonna write my book and like if let's say I'm translating something. When I'm translating, I'm not gonna translate it straight to my book. I'm gonna translate it on a piece of paper first, make sure I got it right, and then put it in my book. So all scripture is divine. That means everything we bring up, is gonna be divine because it's the scripture. That means the book of Satan is divine. Matter of fact, I think that's the biggest fucking holy book that they ever found. It got more pages than any fucking book. Who put that
Yep.
together? They said one man wrote this is the tricky story. They say this man wrote this book in prison right before he was about to get executed, and then he prayed to Satan to help him finish the book. Have you heard that story?
Yeah. He said, "I'm a He that was the deal he made. He said if I could write one of the most incredible books ever in one night, y'all should spare me." and he made a deal with the devil, and he wrote the book for him. Where that's
But
at?
they don't take that book into consideration.
Mhm.
This man, the jump of the story, he prayed to Satan, and Satan came and saved the day, so he can write the book. He didn't pray to God. He said, "Hey God, you know what? Times is hard, man. I want to write this book about the devil. Give me your strength. I'll lend you my soul if you help me write the book." No, that ain't what happened. The devil showed up. Was like, "What up, cuz? You say you gonna give me that for a loud pack bet? I'm
Mhm.
gonna take this on. I'm gonna write this book, and then we gonna put you on a T-shirt." That it's like they don't. They take the canonized versions, and it's holy. It's this divine. It's the divine word of God. Everything's the divine word of God. If we talking about scripture, we're not just living in the book, because the book's been tampered with. So we got to go back to the old scrolls. If we saying the old scrolls are divine, then that means everything is divine. That means the oracles are divine, because you can find the oracles in the old scrolls. That means when like I got a book, right? Hold on, Mo. I got a book. It's called When God Was a Woman. It's by Marilyn Stone, right? This is
Mhm.
before, who is that? Who wrote that book? Before Ben, is it Ben? Is it Ben Steppen Hope that wrote that book that I'm talking about? Or is it Edward Dodge? I think it's Edward Dodge that wrote the book about the female. The females, yeah, it's Edward Dodge, The History of the Goddesses from the Ice Age to the Bible. It's before that book, right? So we got a book that says When God Was a Woman by Marilyn Stone, and then we got a scholar. I don't know. I don't know if Marilyn Stone was a doctor or what. Let me see. Because I think I got to chapter 11. I didn't even go to the table of contents and the shit that's in the beginning of the book. I just started reading it. So let me see. Yeah, this book's hella old. Well, it don't say.
She was a professor.
Yeah. She was. You looked her up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Okay, so now this book was before his book. So a lot of this stuff that's in this book is gonna be in his book, right? So that kills their argument. That kills their argument. You can't be like, oh, God is a dude. He's he. Because we always say, how do you know it's a he? So you got two people telling you that the original God of these civilizations, which we always say this, the gods of these civilizations were females before they were men. Not only do we got Edward Dodge, we got Marilyn Stone, but you also got Joseph Campbell, where he goes to the history of the prehistoric caveman, right? That big ass book that I keep showing that has Mother Goddess in it. The oldest image of a Mother Goddess we have is in that book. Matter of fact, all of the oldest images are in that book. So what the fuck are they talking about? Why are they worshiping the dude?
You know what?
You
Cause
remember when we watched what's the name of that movie? Dogma. I think that's the name of the movie. It got Chris Rock and shit in it. And then when God come down, it's a female.
Dogma. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's a movie called Dogma. It got Chris Rock in it. It got what the fuck is her name? The chick that sings "What If God Was One of Us." She's God. It got it, man. It got what the fuck are their names? Jay and Silent Bob in it. Matter of fact, I think Jay and Silent Bob were the two people, the main characters of the movie. It got what is her name? The chick. What is her name? She played in Zorro. No, it wasn't Zorro. It was, I think it was Desperado. Selma Hayek. Yeah, from Dusk Till Dawn also. Selma Hayek is in the movie too. So what they talking about? You go back and you look at all these ancient names of the female goddesses, and all I did was change them. And then like Edward Dodge said some shit and it stuck with me. He said that I think it was Jezebel. You got Jezebel and then you got something else. And he said that that word means holy. So they keep calling these females, oh, they're Jezebels. But it's a word that means holy, but y'all keep calling them Jezebel, and people worship the Jezebel. And when he mean like they worship the Jezebel, he's meaning like the Jews. So what time period y'all talking about Abraham? Because I'm pretty sure Abraham worshipped the female god before he started worshiping Yahweh.
That's probably why he left. Because when they was telling, remember in Sumer when they was telling on when they was trying to conspire, they went and they talked to their mother. Their mother told them what to do. Listen, this is what y'all do to fix the problem. Make your own slaves. That way you ain't got to do the work. She
Yeah,
was telling
dude.
them what to
He
do.
said Jay said it looked like Lucifer. You talking about the person on the cover of the book? And hella dude. She got heavy breast, and she got one snake in each arm. But I like Abraham. I'm thinking then this is just a guess, a hypothetical, that when God introduced himself to Abraham and he told Abraham to sacrifice his fucking kid, that's when Abraham was like, you know what? This female God ain't telling, because you remember they love child sacrifice. Oh, she didn't tell me to sacrifice my son. So I'm finna roll with this guy because this guy's telling me to kill my son. I'll have another son. It's nothing. That's that Moloch shit all over again. Like they'd be like, oh, they were pagans and they were doing child sacrifice, and God, the God of the Jews don't do that. Oh, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute, let me put some sacrifice in it, because we see like the first instances that I ever heard of a child sacrifice in the Bible. This man prayed to win a battle, and then he said, I will sacrifice the first thing out of my house. First of all, why would you say you would sacrifice the first thing out of your house? Let's say the first thing that came flying out of your house was a fucking pot. How are you gonna sacrifice that? You just gonna break it? So you were meaning if my wife comes out, my son comes out, my daughter comes out, whoever the first one out, they getting popped.
Bro, they
I'm putting
covering
up.
it up. That's patchwork. They were sacrificing kids
But
back then, man. They
that's
just
what I'm
covering it
saying.
up.
Like since I've got on the
You
live,
know,
that's what
hey,
I've
look,
been
look,
telling
look.
people.
Hey, look. We sitting here trying to figure out why we can't find none of these people in history, right? It's because they killed their kids.
Oh man.
They just wrote the story though, and then he stopped me. No, you killed your damn son. That's why we can't find Isaac
Yeah,
because he
we killed
gone.
our lineage.
They over there
Do you
eating
know
their
how
goddamn
fucking
kids.
sick
Hey,
that
bro,
is sick.
bro, that makes perfect sense why they didn't fuck with him. That's probably why they didn't mess with him. It's like, yo, these people are walking around killing their kids, eating their kids. You damn right they don't like you because they just hated them with a passion. With a passion, man. What was you
It's
doing?
it's not funny, but it's funny because you have to look at it like it's sick, but at the same time of it being sick, you're laughing at them being sick. Because who would think to sacrifice their child? Who would think to put barbecue sauce and eat their children? Who does that? Who would do that? We got not even elders. You got like people on the verge of being elders. So you could have knocked off the elders and made use their bones for tools, right? And then you got people that's on their way to being elders. Y'all could have just made them spare ribs and lamb chops. Y'all didn't do that. Y'all decided to go after the weakest link, y'all lineage. So y'all killed y'all lineages off. I would have just marked the elders. But you also gotta take in consideration that these people were not smart. So I could see why they would kill the kids because they're not smart. Because whenever you ask anybody, well, during the time of Moses, where's the contemporary writings when he lived? And they were like, oh well, the Jews at that time, they were illiterate. They didn't know how to read or write. So it would make sense that they would eat their own fucking kids because they were slow. Okay, if we're not gonna use barbecue sauce, well, how about honey mustard then? And what was the side item? It don't make no sense. It makes sense, but it don't. Y'all that intellectually slow that you don't think to eat the older people of the tribe. When you went in, remember they went into Canaan now, and in the Bible it says that the Canaanites they were peaceable people. They weren't warriors, and a lot of them they were old.
Killed them for nothing.
That's so why would you not do that to the people of your own tribe, the elders of your tribe that's old? What's gonna give you what's gonna last longer, a little baby or that old ass 72 to 92-year-old man? He got more meat on his bones. His limbs is longer. And he'll feed more people. Everybody can have one long spare rib and some side items. And we knocking out 4 or 5 of them because we can't, do you listen? Let's say me and you are part of the tribe, right? Do you know how many children would have to die to feed the tribe for a day? We're not even talking about the week because some of them you're not just gonna eat once a day. Some of them gonna eat separate. You know what I'm saying? Are we gonna have it's chow time? Well, when I wake up, I'm hungry. What we gonna eat? So are they putting baby names in a jar or a bread basket, shaking it up? Oh, or are they just here's my kid. Take my kid next. Are they drawing straws? And then the elders should have been mad at themselves because I've never heard any parents say that they want their kid to pass before them. All parents will say, my kids are supposed to live longer than me. So the elders of the tribe, these are their grandkids. The grandparents should have stepped in. The grandparents' job is to protect the grandbabies. That's why when the parent takes the grandbaby over to the house, the grandparents' house, and the parent wants to whoop their child, the grandparent always steps in and stops it. So you mean to tell me that the Jews, the grandparent of these Jews, ain't coming in stopping their grandkids from getting sacrificed? They're like, no, sacrifice me. That's my grandbaby. I can't let nothing happen to it. This is just this is logic is creeping in at this time. All we gotta do is come out with the condiments that we gonna put with the spare ribs. That's it. Or the femur. It's like The point of a sacrifice is to sacrifice something pure. That's why. How come these elders can't be pure? It's survival mode. Pure is going out of the window. It's survival mode. We think in logic. If grandparents are okay with their grandkids being sacrificed, there's a problem with that. If my daughter comes over to my house with my grandbabies and she's about to whoop them, and I feel that they did nothing wrong, I'm going to try to stop my daughter from whooping my grandkids. And she's going to be like, I don't stay here. I'll just whoop them when I get home. No grandparent is going to let their grandkids get sacrificed. That's the mentality of it.
Not happening. That is not happening.
If they think about this. If the grandparent loves their child more than anything, the love that they have for their child more than anything is going to be passed down to their grandchild. They're going to protect their grandchild more than they're going to protect their child because their grandchild's not an adult. So they're going to grab the baby and they're going to put the baby in the arms of their child and tell them, look, go ahead, y'all go to the side. The elders are stepping up so there won't be no child sacrifice. But they didn't do that. That's how you know all this shit's a fucking fairy tale. It's a fairy tale. When you start getting to Hezekiah and King David, okay, maybe you ain't got no fairy tale. But just them. You can't find Solomon. You can't find this man's temple. They found a fragment of a fucking wall, and they say that they think it could have been a temple there. It's like, come on, man. Let's be for real. You got Mark, Matthew, Paul. You got John. You got Peter. How do we know these people existed? All the players in the Bible, the only people that they claim that they possibly see existing is Jesus, Paul, Peter, Hezekiah, and King David. Who else?
Solomon was getting it in.
This is the thing. With Solomon, he's supposed to have over 1,000 children, right?
No, he 1,000 children. If he got 900?
How many wives?
900 wives.
He had 900 wives, so he should have equal amount of children.
Just to say the least, it could be more than that though. He could have.
You know, wait. We thinking. We can't think. We cannot think on this when it comes to Solomon, because at what time were they doing child sacrifice? If they were still doing child sacrifice during Solomon's time, then he has no lineage because they like baby back ribs.
Right. And that's why there's no archaeological evidence for them. Can't find them. They got them out of there as soon as they pop them out.
And then it's real messed up how they fled so Jesus wouldn't die because he was a baby, couldn't protect himself. Then you have Moses. They protected him. Moses was just floating down the basket, even though they got that from another culture. He just they're going down the river in a bread basket, so he wouldn't be sacrificed.
I guarantee you, even if they do find Solomon or they find David, right? It's not going to be the same one from the book. It never fails. When they found Abimelech, they found Abimelech on one of those steles, right? But it's not the same one from the book. It can't be, because the timeline is way off. The timeline makes no sense, and he did not do all of that great shit they were talking about.
But listen, they don't do timelines. They do oral tradition. So to them, they're like, yes, okay, I can see this is a similar, but ours came first. With them, even if you have a comparative story, they will tell you, oh, it's similar, but it's not the same. Like you might have one word change. Like when you go to Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs 22 that comes from straight out of Egypt. They ain't changing line, right? It's Proverbs 21 or 22. They ain't changed the line. They say, oh well, it's similar, but since the Egyptians were they got an excuse for everything. Everything is an excuse. They don't come with no source. They don't come with document. They don't come with peer review. It's just, oh well, and the Bible said. How like that'd be like how we are now. Like that dude came up in here. He just, oh, I believe the Bible. Why are you coming up here, man? Because we can show you the scholars. Like I don't need to show you the documentation because we can't really show that on TikTok. I would have to have a laptop. I don't have a laptop. My wife got a laptop, but I don't know where the fuck it's at. So I would have to actually use her laptop, put her password in, and pull up. And I don't even know how I would show it on here because I'm not technical savvy with it, right? But I can give you the name of the doctors, the professors, the scholars that's in the field that's studying this stuff. Now, not only can me and you give the name, we can give the book. That's just like when I gave you the name of the book and I gave you the name of the person who wrote the book, you looked her name up and you said, oh, she's a doctor. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's game. That's game. We're not going to like these rinky-dink people who got YouTube channels and then they're just putting two and two together and they're making a whole YouTube lecture about it. We're going to people that's in the game. They're in the game. They're not, oh, well, I got from this article, and I put a YouTube slide together, and I created my lecture. Go ahead, Mo.
Then you can also go to I think it's Hermetica. You can go to the Hermetica forums, right? And you can just scroll for days and look at the different scholars in there debating. They got forums where they're
Yes,
debating
you
with
know
each other.
what? I did not know that these scholars were debating each other. The dude, what's his name? The myth vision dude. He was talking to Bart Ehrman, and
Yo, that
Bart
shit
Ehrman.
is
Oh my God,
fire.
Bart.
That shit is fire, bro. Yo, that shit to be. I gotta rewind that shit so many times. I'm like, yo, what the fuck did he just say? And it's everything we saying, but it's crazy that they saying it now. It's like, damn, now y'all
But
gonna come out and say that shit.
they break that shit down, and they're more intellectual than we are. Like we freestyle a lot of this shit,
Right? They like
but
fucking 30, 40 years into that shit.
and it come like that to them. So it's like, oh well, you can go. This dude, who was it? I think it was Kip Davis, and he said, you know what? When you go into the Iron Age, matter of fact, it was Kip in Edward. It was like when you go into the Iron Age, you really don't see Yahweh. You might have like little missing like people like mentioning him, but you don't have no real documents of people worshiping this cat. I'm like, what the fuck you mean you ain't got no? I was like, huh? So he just started coming. He just started coming in. He like he's a baby, and they make it seem like he's the best one. He's a baby god. Yahweh is he's a baby god. You just got on the scene. So now since you on the scene and you want people to worship you, now we gotta throw all the other deities in the trash. Because one of the fucking gospels it sat there and it says that you flooded the whole world because people weren't worshiping you. The only person that accepted to worship you was Noah.
That's
So
tough.
now in the book it says, oh, don't worship all of these other gods. They're false gods, they're pagans, they're not the true God. Because that's what you say. But all your attributes, I can accredit them to other deities. So what makes you better than them? You can't be like, oh well, God created the world because it's in the book. Okay, well, when you go to Egypt, you got the Egyptians saying the same shit. You got the Sumerians saying some of the same shit. So what the fuck are you talking about? Matter of fact, in over here in America, some of the native tribes, they got a God creating Earth, this whole solar system. So which in there, and if they're older than Yahweh. Yahweh's he's the baby back God. He's not doing nothing that no other God has done. Some of them require child sacrifice,
And
and
look, even those,
he's one of them.
e- even the rabbis, these are rabbis, man. These are Jews. These are people who still have, who are still part of their original tradition, and they're telling you that it ain't a history book, and it was never meant to be a history book. It was meant to be they were practicing having a relationship with God, or what they thought was God. They tell you that, like, yo, my these are my people. We know this isn't real. It's these Americans, these Westerners are coming back telling us about. Can you imagine that, somebody taking your shit and come back and try to tell you about? They telling you it ain't real.
But
Like, it's
that's
not
what they
real at all.
do, though. I know you're wrong. This is what it is. This is how it goes. You can't do that. You can't sit here and tell me that there was a worldwide flood when all these other cultures that you're saying were flooded out are building structures, and they still have civilizations. There's no break in their civilization where they're writing about there was a flood. The flood killed our people. You don't see that. It's strange.
The Loop Holy Bible, you got to read that fine print. Hell yeah.
What did he say? The loop. Oh, that's her. That's a female, ain't it? Outlaw.
Oh, my bad.
You're right. It is the sample, like the sample of baby back ribs.
Yo, and they saying now, let me see. I think they saying either the Babylonians, this is crazy. They're saying the Babylonians or the Persians created Israel.
I ain't hear that.
They created that shit and set them up and everything. Set up shop in Jerusalem.
I can
Gave them
I can
a old God, Yahweh. They just gave it
I
to them.
can
Like, here,
see
you
I
go over
can
there
see
and
the
set this up.
Assyrians doing that shit. I don't know about the Babylonians. Because the Babylonians, they were creating their own fucking god. Nah, you know what? It could be
That's the
either
Persian.
or.
It's the Persian. It's Persian. The Persian Empire. Is that, what's his name? Who's this dude right here? What's his name? Professor Thomas from Marquette University in Milwaukee. He said that the
What's
Israelite
his last
nation, he
name?
believes, it's Professor Thompson. I think his first name is Thomas. Thomas Thompson.
No, yeah, I know you're talking about Thomas L. Thompson, right?
I don't know his middle name. Thomas Tom. It just say Thomas
Yeah,
Thompson.
Thomas L. Thompson. He was the leader of the minimalist and maximist debate. You remember how I always talk about that?
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
him.
Yo, look, this dude said, he said
he's
the
the
Israelite
he's their
nation.
dude. He is their dude. He like the
He said
top guy.
he said the Israelite nation, he believes, was a creation of the Persian Empire and was formed around 450 BC. But the people who were moved to Jerusalem at the time were not the descendants of those who had been deported from the city after Babylon captured them in 1580 in 586 BC. He said they were descendants of Syrian, Philistines, Phoenicians, Judeans, and other people who had been forcibly deported from Babylon or to Babylon. So they created those people. That's why it looks like they
So
just popped
when
up.
we say
They
they
just
had
made
mixed
them.
multitude of people,
Bro,
that's what they were.
the tribes. Yo, these people got created. That shit is crazy. They just made them. And they still do it today. We're going to call them Indians. We're going to call them Negroes. And we're going to call them just making up
Yeah,
shit.
Thomas L. Thompson. He is, matter of fact, his understudy is Russell Gmerkin. He's like the top. Thomas L. Thompson is the top dude for the minimalist debate,
He
and no
got
one
books
can
too.
fuck with him. I think
Russell.
he do. Yeah, Russell Gmerkin, he got 2 books out, and he's working on a third. His books is expensive as fuck though. It's like $200 and shit.
No, I'll get it. I will find a way to get it.
Shit, I was like, fuck, I ain't got $200 to spend on a damn book. Yeah, he got Russell Gmerkin. He got, oh my god, that dude. If you ever listen, like, but now I will say this: Russell Gmerking and I think Bart Ehrman, they don't. But I think Bart Ehrman is a believer. I think he's a believer in the in
He a Gnostic.
Christianity.
He like Gnostic though.
Yeah, Russell Gmerkin don't believe none of that shit. But these are the top scholars that we talking about. They ain't just regular nobodies on the street. See, but a lot of times when people get on these lives and they're like, oh, well, this scholar came out. Okay, they might be a scholar, but are they a credible scholar? You said they on
Right.
Buck's live
Have they
turning
been
up.
have
I
they
didn't
been
know
peer
Buck was
reviewed?
live. He didn't tell me.
I thought his ass was in here.
Nah, he been done left. We can go over there and
Yeah, let's
shit.
go. Let's
I don't
slide
have
over
no
there and see what
problem.
they doing. Let's slide over there and see
All
what they do.
right.
So they ain't gotta go back and forth. Cause I know they like, damn, we gotta go back
Yeah.
and forth.
All right, hey
All
y'all, everybody on this live, go to Buckology because we about to go over there because he didn't tell us he was live.
right, gone.